Good evening, everybody. My name is David Fisher. I'm from John Wiley & Sons. I'm the Regional Sales and Marketing Director for the Asia Pacific region. My theme today is about this building the long-term relationships between publishers and librarians. I'm going to cover the challenges for the librarian and for the publisher today. Look at the way publishers work with librarians to understand their points of view and how we work together to get over these challenges. But first of all, we're going to start with the challenges for the academic librarians. Sorry. Okay. When I went to university, I now look back at this time and I think about the library at my university. This was quite a few years ago now. And when you entered the library, the first thing that confronted you was a list of things that you were not allowed to do in the library. So thinking back, it wasn't a particularly welcoming place, but it was built and maintained to provide a quiet and well-resourced place for students, for researchers, for academics to seek and use information. I think if it's still like that today, it probably has fewer people visiting it than it did then. And that was, of course, when it was open. So these policies, no cell phones, no food, no drink, are now being altered so that libraries can cultivate the new style of patron. Today's generation likes to bring technology into learning places, would like to be able to talk in a normal voice, drink coffee, surf the web, access free Wi-Fi, and meet in groups to discuss their assignments or their research. So this is just one of the many challenges today, today's librarian faces, remaining relevant to their patron. This is also a key challenge for publishers as well. If users cannot discover and can't use the content in the way they want to use it, then they won't use the publisher's content. They won't be able to find it or access it. Today's librarian manages the complexities associated with online and digital collections, the administration, the accessibility, links, records, discoverability, archiving, a host of many things. All these from multiple vendors, direct to publisher, through aggregators or agents, with multiple license types and permissions. The availability of online scholarly and STM content is continuing to grow exponentially, and because of the growth in research that's coming from increased funding as well, not only in the traditional research powerhouses, but also through the commitment and investment in higher education all over the world, and notably India is a case of that. We've seen a huge growth in the amount of research being submitted to publishers in the past 10 to 15 years. Changing research has led to new journals, different databases, new types of databases, back files, archives, new content channels. Traditional disciplines have blurred and new niche areas appeared. On top of all this growth, the last 2 years has been marked globally by a significant slowing of growth in the library budgets in many parts of the world. As STM publishers, I think we all appreciate the importance of understanding the pressures and challenges of the librarian and the need for the relationship to not only be a transactional one, but to be one of partnership. And we have many ways of communicating and keeping in touch with the trends in librarianship. And these are from regular visits to library advisory boards and monitoring the many listservs and blogs that serve our community. All these touch points feed into the strategies that publishers employ, whether these are pricing, whether these are licensing models, ways we market, positioning new content, and of course the way we deliver our content through our online platforms. The librarian and the publisher share a common goal of making content discoverable, accessible, and valued by the user. The ongoing dialogue between librarians and publishers is key to achieving this goal. As one of the larger publishers, Wiley is able to provide the librarian with valued content that spans the needs of a great range of users, from undergraduates through researchers to faculty to professionals. We're also the largest society publisher, and this comes with a significant responsibility to the whole scholarly community, as our society partners must also prosper and increase their relevance to their members through their relationship with a publisher. There are many opportunities for publishers to engage with the whole scholarly community, and Wiley colleagues hold over 130 committee positions in publishing, library, and information-related groups. Some of the key groups that publishers are engaged in are on this list here. Most important for librarians, the long-term preservation of content. Most publishers are involved in the Clocks and Portico archiving and content programs for long-term preservation. The provision of free or low-cost content to the world's developing countries through the Research for Life programs such as Hinari, Agora, and the OARE initiative, and initiatives that are particularly there to make life a lot easier for librarians, such as the Counter initiative, Transfer, which is is the code of practice when journals move from either a society published or published by another publisher to a different publisher, and of course Crossref, which you're all familiar with. And the realities of financial pressures, of course, have been further magnified by the global financial crisis, not only in direct funding, but also through significant swings in exchange rates. The message from the librarian community has been clearly spelt out to the publishing community as well, through statements such as this made by the ICAL. Publishers are, of course, fully sympathetic to the effects. Wiley is well into its renewal negotiations for 2010 right across the world, and we are learning from our librarian partners and hearing that customer needs and priorities vary country by country, institution type by institution type. But we are committed to working together to find satisfactory solutions. We believe that our pricing models, and of course most publishers' pricing models, do offer a flexible framework that provides real options for customers to manage their spending with their publishers. At the same time, we're interested in exploring alternative business models. We have experimented with several models over the past 5 years, including using usage as a metric, cost per download, and setting different value propositions for different kinds of customers. Looking at the quality and quantity of content in particular areas, and all these have been modeled and worked on closely with our library partners. As change continues, the way our users work with and access scholarly and STM content, as new ways to deliver and access content become mainstream, both the librarian and the publisher's responsibilities and roles will continue to evolve. If we continue to work together, pool our knowledge and skills, this change will only ensure success for all. Thank you very much for your time. I hope I kept within the 10 minutes.